Very good morning, guys. How are you all? I hope everybody is fine. Yes. So now we are going to start chapter number 1 of CA Foundation Business Maths, Stats and LR. And this part is from Maths. Okay. So section 1 you already knew. Section 1. Section 1 covers ratio, proportion, indices, logarithm, equation, matrices, and linear inequalities. These 5 topics. Out of which Chapter 1 is group of first 4 topics: ratio, proportion, indices, log. Today we will start with ratios. Okay, very good. So now, first let's understand what is ratio. What is ratio? Ratio is a division of two quantities of same units denoted by A ratio B. So ratio is very simple thing. We already knew this. It's simply a division, right? Even if we denote it like this, A ratio B, still it is nothing but A upon B. Then the question comes in my mind, what was the need of ratio? It is a division. We already knew what is division. We already know the divide sign. Then what was the need of the ratio as a whole? Okay. Now see, if I say 20 divided by 10, if I say 20 divided by 10, this is equal to 2. This is a normal division. This is a normal division. But when we come to the business world, there are different quantities that we need to compare. There are different types of quantities. Like for a product, suppose for a product, there are two type of packing. One is 2 kg packing. One is 500-gram packing. Okay. Now if I ask you, what is the ratio between these two packaging? What is the ratio of their weight between the packaging? Type 1, type 2. What is the ratio from type 1 to type 2? Then you will say, so ratio is simply 2 kg upon 500 gram. Is it correct? 2 upon 500. Is this ratio correct? 2 upon 500. No, sir. You are comparing the things, but comparison should always have a same unit. What is the problem with this? Sir, one of the unit is in kg, other unit is in gram. So to compare it, to make the ratio, what you need? We need to make it equivalent to the same units. So what is 2 kg? 2 kg can be converted into 2000 gram. Now if you ask ratio of type 1 and type 2, then I will say 2000 upon 500. Okay, 2000 upon 500 is also a ratio. But what is the general trend? General trend is to simplify it, to make it in the simplest form. 500, so 0 cross, 5 4 ja 20. So we'll get 4 ratio 1. 4 upon 1. Then I will write it like this, 4 ratio 1. Got this thing? So ratio is division of two types of quantity, but not any quantity. It's not just number. It's division of two comparable quantities having same type or same units. Getting the point? Okay. Now, type 1 and type 2 both were weights. That's why comparison was possible. Both were weights. Now, if I ask, compare height of A with weight of B. Now, there are two guys, A and B. Can we compare and make a ratio between height of A and weight of B? Sir, we should convert. Let's see. Height of A is 160 centimeter. Weight of B is 60 kg. Let us compare. Let's convert centimeter to the kg. Tell me, how can we convert centimeter into kg? Is it possible? No, sir. It is not possible at all. So that is the point, that when two quantities are of different kind, even you cannot equate their units, the ratio is not possible here. Correct. So everybody is giving the right answer. Ratio is not possible. And what was the reason? What was the reason? Two different kinds of quantity. I'm not saying unit, different kinds. One was weight, one was height. Two different kinds of quantity. Comparison is never possible. So till now we have understood two things. What are those two things? Those two things are two same quantity, two similar type of quantity or similar kind of quantity, and both having same units also. Okay, so if unit is not same, we can convert the units and make the ratio. But if the kind is different, if the category is different, if the nature of quantity is different at all, the ratio is not possible at all. Clear till now? Clear till now? Everything is fine? Yeah. Now let us come to notes. What we did now: division of two quantities A and B of same unit denoted by A ratio B. Now some basic terms: antecedent and consequent. Antecedent and consequent. Let's understand about these terms. Antecedent and consequent. Very simple way to remember this. Antecedent means numerator. You all know numerator, right? The first term of the ratio. And denominator. Now tell me, in ratio 7:8, which one is consequent? Tell me, which one is consequent? 8, simple. And 7 is antecedent. Also, sometimes they don't use the word antecedent or consequent. They can use first term or second term. That is also fine. The meaning is same. First term or second term. Okay, so do not forget this term. This is new to you. Now, so we are done with basic terms. Now, properties of the ratio. Both terms of a ratio can be multiplied or divided by the same number. Usually, a ratio is expressed in lowest term. So we are not able to understand this. No problem. See, I am taking one ratio, 2/2:3. I am taking 2/3. 2/3 is nothing but division of 2 by 3. Can you tell me the decimal value of 2/3? What is the decimal value of 2/3? Sir, it is 0.666 recurring. No problem. No problem. Okay. Now I am saying 2 by 3. Let's multiply 4 in numerator and also in denominator. What is the resultant ratio now? What is the resultant ratio? Sir, 8/12. Clear? 8/12. When you multiply 4 and divide by 4, you will get a new ratio, that is 8/12. Now tell me, what is the value of 8/12? Is 8/12 also equal to 0.666? Yes, sir. It is also equal to 0.666. Correct. Now, if I do one more thing, 2, 3. Okay. Let's divide it by 2. Both the things. Let's not multiply, just divide it by 2. So 2 by 2 will become 1 and 3 by 2 will become 1.5. Now tell me, what is the value of 1 divided by 1.5? Sir, it is also 0.666. What does this mean? If this is the original ratio is 2/3. And if you modify it by multiplying, so new ratio by multiplying, what do we multiply? We multiply the same number, 4 and 4, in numerator as well as denominator. We'll get 8/12. This new ratio is also equal to the original ratio. There is no difference between them. It's just a presentation. 2/3 and 8/2 are different ratios? No. It is just a presentation. Similarly, let's not multiply, let's divide new ratio by divide. But remember, you need to divide the same thing in numerator and denominator. So all these things are equal. That is what the property is. That is one thing. That even if you multiply with the same number to the numerator denominator both, or you divide to the numerator denominator both, ratio will not change. Is this clear? Is this point clear to everyone? And how will you check? Just by calculating decimal, we can check this point. Okay, this is clear. Now, sir, what is the next point? Yeah, see. So it says, in general, we can or we should show the ratio in its in its simplest form. Yes, you heard correctly. We should show the ratio generally in the simplest form. So if we have the ratio 12 ratio 18, this is correct. This is correct form of ratio, but we should make it to the simplified form. And we already know that whether you divide or multiply, the value is same. So if I divide it by 6, I will get 2. If I divide it by 6, I will get 3. So the resultant ratio will be 2 ratio 3, and 2 ratio 3 is the simplest form of this ratio, not an issue. So you got the idea what is simplest form, everyone? Now let's read it again from the notes. Both the terms of a ratio can be multiplied or divided by the same number. Usually a ratio is expressed in the lowest terms or the simplest form. So property number 1 is clear. Now property number 2, the order of the term of a ratio is important. It says order of the term of a ratio is important. Second point. Order of the term is important. Sir, what does this mean? See, if we have a ratio 5 ratio 7, can I say that whether you write 5 ratio 7 or you write 7 ratio 5, both are same, right? Both are same. No, it is not same, right? It is not same. So order of the term is important, which means the sequence in which you have written the terms. Like if you have written 5 first and 7 next, it's a different thing. And 7 first, 5 second one, that's the different thing. So you got it. The order of the term is important, right? So somebody asks, sir, do we need to write all these things? Now, there are two options, guys. Anyways, from the next class onwards, you will have the recording of classes. So I will not wait for you to write. You can just pause the lecture and you can just write as per your convenience. Okay. Now, uh, in general, what I do in class when there is a live class, the focus is that you should not waste your time in writing the concepts because concepts are already written in the book. If there is something additional that you can write in the notes only, but you don't have the printable form of notes, so you may need to write in the notebook any special point which is not given in notes. But yeah, we don't have a worry because you have recording class and you can pause whenever you want. So don't take tension about it. For today I will give some time to write. Okay, no problem. So if you want, you can write this with example, though it is already written there. But if you want to write example, you can write. Okay, but these are very simple things, so I will not give much time. And anyways, for this lecture also, this will also be uploaded in YouTube. So if you want to write later, you can write, so that we'll cover much today. Okay, so order of the term is important. I will give you time to write solutions of exercise question, if there is any bigger exercise question that will be needed, that you want to write, you can write, no problem. I will give the time. For concept, you can let go. Ratio exists between only between quantities of same kind. We know this, right? Same kind, height and weight ratio cannot be formed. Height and weight ratio cannot be formed. So the same kind is very important thing. Understood? Okay, let's not discuss this again. We already knew this same kind. Now to compare two ratios, convert them into equivalent like fractions. Now what is equivalent like fractions? See, suppose I have a first term as 2 by 3. Careful, I'm not saying ratio. First term antecedent is 2 by 3. Second term consequent is 7 by 12, or 7 by 6 rather. 7 by 6. Now, what is the ratio between A ratio B? Tell me. What is A ratio B? It's very simple, sir. We'll directly write 2 by 3 ratio 7 by 6. Now, I want this ratio in the simplified form. So what should I do? I should simply equate their denominators, make their denominators equal. Can you convert 2 by 3 into the denominator into 6? Yes, sir. What I can do is 2 by 3 into 2 by 2, ratio 7 by 6. Now, this will become 4 by 6, ratio 7 by 6. Now, do they have same denominator? Do they have same denominator now? I know you have calculated by cross product, but try to understand what the property says. It says if you have the equivalent like fraction means fractions having same denominator. So let me write here, equivalent like fractions implies that fractions having same denominator. So here the denominator is same, so you can directly write it like this, 4 ratio 7. And you knew this. Why this is happening? Because if you write 4 upon 6 into 6 upon 7, 6 and 6 will cross and you will get 4 by 7. That's the simple logic behind it. Nothing like this. Just technically you need to understand what is the equivalent like, so that you never get confused. Okay. Now, I don't think any doubts in the properties, guys. No doubts in the property, right? Thumbs up. Yeah. Now some other terms where questions will come. So it's very easy. Ratio is very easy. I know. Sir, why we take 2? Where we have taken 2? Which 2? No, no. Yeah. Why I have taken 2, and I will tell you. This 2 and this 2 you are saying. I have taken these 2 so that I can convert my 3 into the 6. I want to equate their denominator. Equivalent like fraction means having the common denominator. Till the time they don't have common denominator, we cannot directly write them in the form of ratio. So let's convert them by multiplying 2, dividing by 2. And you already knew in property number 1, whether I multiply same thing to the antecedent and consequent or divide the same thing, there is no problem at all. The ratio will remain same. Now tell me, Sahil, is it clear? Okay. Today we will complete exercise also, don't worry. Now, some other thing. Before coming to these other terms, let's go to study material and let's have a look. What is there that we should do? If there is an illustration that are important, I will take that also. After that, we'll go to the main exercise. Okay, so some popular ratios like minutes and seconds. See, ratio between 25 minutes and 45 seconds. In this case, how can you convert minutes to seconds? You know, 1 minute equal to how many seconds? 60 seconds. Okay, so these units things you should remember. Any other illustration? Yes. So this is the good illustration. I will take this in my notebook. Windows Shift S. This illustration we will do together. So Ronak weighs 56.7 kg. If he reduces his weight in the ratio 7:6, find his new weight. So you got the question. Currently Ronak's weight is Ambika. Illustrations in some chapters, illustrations are very easy. So that we will not cover in class. Maybe we will not cover in class. But yeah, there are some chapters where we will discuss each illustrations one by one, like in case of permutation combination, sequence series, probability. So all those chapters where the illustrations are very important, I will cover each and every one of the illustration along with the exercise. But in these chapters also, which are easy, we'll have a brief look of illustrations. Where there is any important illustrations, I will cover in the classes. Okay. Now again, let's come back to question. Ronak weighs 56 kg. So this 56 is his original weight. If he reduces his weight in the ratio 7:6, find his new weight. Now let's see. Somebody is having the weight of 7 is now converted to 6. Now what is equivalent to 7? 56.7 is equivalent to 7. So if 7 is reduced to 6, how much 56.7 will reduce to? So there is a very simple way to do it. Just equate the ratios. Very simple. Just equate the ratios. So my original weight is 56.7. Let us suppose new weight be X. See, new weight be X. Let new weight be X. So what will you do? So 56.7 upon new weight is equal to 7 upon 6. Now, sir, how can we solve this? How can we solve this? Just by doing cross multiplication. This and this. So you will get like this. 56.7 into 6 is 340.2 equal to 7x. Then x is equal to 340.2 divided by 7. 48.6 kg. Most of you have given the correct answer. Okay. So these kind of illustration we should be able to do. For these kind of illustration, ICAI has given a kind of formula that the fraction by which the original quantity is multiplied to get the new quantity. Will not study this formula because these kind of questions should be done practically. We don't need to remember formulas for these small things. So that formula I have intentionally skipped because there is no need to know that formula. Now this is also a good example. Simplify the ratio 1:3. Now this is the question. Equivalent like fraction, we have already discussed this, right? Equivalent like fraction. Now you want to simplify this question 1/3, 1/8, 1/6. The first step is to make their denominator same. Once you make their denominator same, you can just ignore the denominator and write the numerator as their ratio. Tell me, to make their denominator same, what I need to calculate? Sir, LCM. So LCM of what? Find LCM of 3, 8 and 6. Tell me, what is the LCM of 3, 8 and 6? Why 834? It should be 836. Oh, you have given the answer. Okay, okay. So the LCM of 3, 8, 6. LCM is 24. You all know, right? LCM, the least common multiple. First, we will get the multiples. What is the multiples of 3? 3 1 ja 3, 3 2 ja 6, 3 7 ja 20, 3 8 ja 24. Then 8 3 ja 24, then 6 4 ja 24. These are the common multiples between all these three. So now I will convert 1 upon 3 ratio 1 upon 8 ratio 1 upon 6 can be converted into 3 8 ja 24. So 8 upon 24. 8 3 ja 24. So 3 upon 24. 6 4 ja 24. So 4 upon 24. So what is the answer? Sir, we can just ignore 24, 24, 24 now because these are equivalent like fractions now, and you can take 8 ratio 3 ratio 4 as the simplified ratio. Clear to everyone, guys? Okay, Sahil. See, when the ratio is given in the form of fractions, like the terms, see the terms. See these terms, 1 by 3, 1 by 8, 1 by 6. These terms are not an integer. Sir, please show the slide of before illustration. Why? Which slide? I'm not able to understand your question, Ambika. The question we are doing, the question is in heading only and solution is following. So what you want? Don't focus on writing. Don't worry. If you left anything, you can do by recording. So I was repeating for Sahil. Sahil, see, 1 by 3, 1 by 8, 1 by 6. They are not integers. To convert them to a normal ratio means a simple ratio with integers as their terms. What we need to do? We need to find the common denominator between them. Now, common denominator means by multiplying something, if we got a common denominators for all the three, so that common multiple is 24. Now, how can we convert 1 by 3 into 24? Sir, by multiplying 8 and dividing 8, we'll get 8 upon 24. How can we convert 1 by 8 into in the form of 24? By multiplying 3, dividing 3. So 3 by 24. Similarly, 1 by 6. So multiply by 5, divide by 5, which is 4 upon 24. Now, do they have same denominator? 824, 324, 424. That's what I have written here. Now they are in the ratio. If the same denominator is there, you can just ignore the denominator and take 834 as the ratio. Have you got it now, Sahil? Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. This question you guys will do. Yeah, do this. The ratio of number of boys to the number of girls in a school of 720 students is 3:5. If 18 new girls are admitted in the school, find how many new boys may be admitted so that the ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls may change to 2:3. You already knew some questions about ratios in the partnership in 11th and 12th. If you are a commerce student till 12th, that practice will help you here. Try, guys. I will solve it after that, but let's give a try. All of you are from Hyderabad, right? Anybody outside Hyderabad? Okay. Oh, different places from India. Very good. Happy to see that. Where from MP, guys? Oh, from Odisha also. Sagar, Jabalpur. Oh, great. Actually, my hometown is near Jabalpur only. I'm based out of a town near Jabalpur only. Bangalore. Great. Yeah. So let's come to question. Time pass is done now. The ratio of number of boys to number of girls in a school of 720 students is 3:5. So let's see. How many total students are there? This is current, okay? Without new admissions. Current total students are 720. Now ratio of I think it's number of girls, boys ratio girls. So I will do B ratio G. Ratio of B ratio G is 3:5. Now can somebody tell me what are the number of boys and number of girls? Current number of boys, number of girls. Sir, how to calculate this? Whenever you distribute some value between two ratios, a very simple thing is that the first part 3:5 can be converted as 3 by 8. Second is 5 by 8. How this 8 comes? This 8 is coming by 3 plus 5. Okay. So just do like this. 720 into 3 by 8. 720 into 5 by 8. Then you will get the answer. 720 into 5 by 8, which is 450. 720 into 3 by 8, it is 270. So guys, these things you will be efficient eventually. Don't worry. I am going in detail just because it's the first class. Okay. And initially we are doing these things. Then you will get hands on this and you will be able to do easily. So 270, 450. These are the current strength of the students in school. Now they are saying that 18 new girls are admitted. So now I'm looking into the new strength. New strength only for number of girls. First, let's write about number of girls. So number of girls will become 450 plus 18, which is 468. They are asking how many number of new boys should be admitted so that the ratio changes to 2:3. So let new boys admission be X. X is assumed as new admissions of boys. So what are the total new boys now? Total new boys will be 270 plus X. Okay, 270 plus X. Now, ratio. What is the ratio they are giving? Boys upon girls ratio will be now 2:3. Yes, it will be 2:3. Now, what are the new number of boys? 270 plus X. New number of girls 468 and ratio is 2 by 3. Now you can cross product, just cross multiply it. So this will become 468 into 2, which is 936. This will become 270 into 3, which is 810 plus 3x. So 3x is equal to 936 minus 810, which is 126. And x is equal to 126 divided by 3, which is equal to 42. So 42 is the correct answer, guys. 42 new boys need to be admitted so that the new ratio will become 2:3. We can verify this also. Now you already know the new strength. Okay, new girls, sir, 468. What are new boys? So new boys are The old boys 270 plus 42 new boys. 312. Now check if the ratio between 312 upon 468 is 2:3 or not. How can we check this, sir? Just by dividing. 312 by 468 is coming to 0.6666. And 2 by 3 is also coming to 0.66. Is it verified? Yeah, so our answer is correct, 42. Tell me, guys, any issue in this question? I hope there should not be any. Okay, so we'll not waste much time now. We'll come to the concepts. Some new terms. Okay. Now we can come to the new terms. So the first term is inverse ratio. You already knew what is inverse. I told you, right? Inverse means just reversing numerator by denominator, denominator by numerator. So antecedent will take the place of consequent and consequent will take the place of antecedent. That is called as the inverse ratio. Now, if I ask you find the inverse ratio of 4:3, tell me what it should be. What is the inverse ratio of 4:3? Sir, it should be 3:4. I don't think there is any more discussion required in inverse. Okay. It is very much clear what is inverse. Okay, one property related to inverse that I just realized. If we multiply a ratio with its inverse ratio, we will get what? Sir, we'll get 1. Simply 3 by 4 is multiplied by 4 by 3, then we'll get 1. They're also called reciprocal of each other. Inverse word is also there and reciprocal word. So this reciprocal word is not used in ratio chapter, but yeah, you should know this. It is reciprocal of each other. Now, this was about inverse. Now some new terms, compound ratio. So compound ratio means, so compound ratio of two or more ratios. It is an operation between two or more ratios. So compound ratio of two or more ratios is equal to product between them. Is equal to product between them. What does it mean? See, if I'll say first ratio is A ratio B, other ratio is C ratio D, what is the compound ratio between them? Compound ratio between first ratio and second ratio is nothing, just the multiplication of both A upon B, C upon D. So what is the resultant ratio now? AC upon BD. This is the compound ratio. Very simple. Compound ratio is multiplying the two ratios. No, not BCAD. Not BCAD. These are two different ratios. Just multiply these two. A is multiplied by C, B is multiplied by D. You will get AC upon BD. Don't get confused. This is not cross product rule. Now I'll give you example, the real example. 2 upon 3 and 7 upon 9. Tell me the compound ratio. Sir, just multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. Very simple. 14 upon 27. Okay, great. Perfect. Now, other term. No problem in compounding, right? No problem in compounding ratio. It's just multiplication. Duplicate ratio. Now, one more term is duplicate ratio. It is compounding of one ratio with itself. What I wrote here, with itself. So if a ratio is 4 ratio 11, if you compound it by itself, compound it means multiply it by itself, what will you get? 4 square upon 11 square. Very simple, which is 16 upon 121. So whenever you hear this word duplicate, it should be clicked that just square the terms. So suppose a ratio is p by q. What is the, this is not equal, right? This is not equal. Yeah, this is equal. So this, right, duplicate ratio of p ratio q. Tell me, duplicate ratio of p ratio q will be p square upon q square. Very simple. Just square both the terms. That is what the duplicate ratio is. Now this is duplicate. If I ask you one more term that is called triplicate, do I need to tell you what triplicate ratio is? So triplicate of p upon q is p cube upon q cube. So compounding itself 3 times, that is nothing but the cube. Okay, everybody? Yes. Now other term is subduplicate. Now what is the reverse of a square? Sir, the reverse of a square is square root. Then subduplicate is also square root of a ratio. So subduplicate ratio of x ratio y is equal to, sir, x ratio y is equal to square root of x upon square root of y. Very simple. Very simple. Square root of x upon square root of y. Not a square, Natasha, a square root. Okay. Power 1 by 2 you can say. Now other thing is subtriplicate. Subtriplicate is cube root. So subtriplicate of c ratio d is c cube root upon d cube root. So very simple terms, very simple terms, right? No problem. So this we are done with triplicate, subtriplicate, duplicate, subduplicate. I will not even ask whether there is any doubt. There should not be any doubt. It is very basics. Okay. Now another terms, commensurate and incommensurate ratio. Commensurate or incommensurate quantities, not even ratio. Commensurate. Quantities. What was rational number? What was the rational number? So rational number is just a ratio where both antecedent and consequents were integer, right? That was the rational number. Now tell me, square root of 3, is it a rational number or not? Is it a rational number or not? No, sir. We cannot write square root of 3 in a proper ratio form with the integer values. That's why it was a irrational number. So commensurate quantity is very simple. Commensurate means C. If ratio can be expressed in the form of integer, sir, does it mean that commensurate quantities means rational number? Yes, it's just a other name of rational number. If two quantities can be written in the form of rational numbers, they are commensurate quantity. If they cannot be written in the form of rational number, they are not commensurate quantities. Okay, so ratio between 20 and 8. Tell me, is this commensurate? Yes or no? Commensurate? Yes or no? Yes. Now, ratio between 2 square root of 3 ratio square root of 3. Tell me, is this commensurate or not? Some people may be thinking that, sir, square root of 3 is non-rational, but no, guys. 2 root 3 upon root 3 can be crossed. It will be 2 upon 1. So this is also commensurate quantity. If I write only root 2 or maybe root 2 upon 2, root 2 upon 2, is this commensurate? Is this commensurate now? No, this is not commensurate quantity. So very simple, we already know what is commensurate because we know what is rational number. So any number that can be written in the form of integers, ratio in the form of integers, that is commensurate. If ratio cannot be in the form of integers, it is non-commensurate. Clear, guys? Okay. So which is not commensurate? It is called incommensurate. Very simple. Incommensurate means it cannot be expressed in the form of integer. Now this part was not that much important. The important part will come now. Continued ratio. What is continued ratio? This is the most used in our accounts. If there are three partners, ratio, profit ratio, there is a profit ratio in partnership, right? Profit ratio between A, B, and C is 2 ratio 3 ratio 4. 2 ratio 3 ratio 4. Now tell me, what does this mean? What does this mean? Sir, this means that ratio between A and B is, tell me, ratio between A and B is, what is the ratio between A and B? No, 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 no. What is the ratio? I'm asking a number. What is the ratio between A and B? Ratio between A and B is 2 by 3. What is the ratio between B and C? It is 3 by 4. And what is the ratio between A and C? It is 2 by 4 or 1 by 2. The same thing. That is the interpretation of continued ratio. Now, if total profit is rupees 81,000, how can you distribute it between A, B, and C? Tell me, guys, how can you distribute this between A, B, and C? I got one answer, two answers. Naman, Namit, Natasha. People with N are leading. Okay, so what is the way to do it? Sir, simple. First, you should add up these 2 plus 3 plus 4. 3 to 5, 4, 9. Then you will get a total term. So part of everyone will be like this. First will be 2 by 9, second will be 3 by 9, 3 out of 9 and 4 out of 9. but we don't have 9 only. We have 81,000. So multiply it by 81,000. So we are getting 18,000, 27,000, and 9 4 is 36,000. That's how it is distributed between A, B, and C. Clear, guys? Is it clear? It's accounts question. Now, something more. If A ratio B, example, if A ratio B is equal to 2 ratio 5 and B ratio C is equal to I will say 12 ratio 19. Find the ratio, continued ratio between A, B, and C. Find this. Are you stuck now? I want you to be stuck. Oh, no. Ambika, you cannot give answer in two quantities. I asked you A ratio, B ratio, C. 24, 16, 95. 24, 16, 95. Okay, many of you are giving the same answer. I think that is the correct answer only. For those who are not even able to understand, sir, how to do it, they're not even getting how this will work. See, guys, see carefully, okay? So a ratio between A and B is 2 ratio 5, A to B5. Now between B and C, it is 12 ratio 19. Now in this case, we cannot directly compare this 2 and 19. Why? Because here the B is different, here the B is different. So whenever you need to create a continued ratio, you need to equate them. This quantity, this 5 and this 12 needs to be the same. Sir, how can we equate 12 by 5? You cannot equate 12 and 5, but you can convert them into a common value, the LCM, by multiplying the numerator denominator both. Now tell me, what is the LCM between 12 and 5? What is the LCM of 12 and 5? It is equal to 60. So let's make it 5 into 12. Let's make it 2 into 12. So what will be the new ratio? So 24 upon 60. Let's make it 12 into 5. Let's make it 19 into 5. What will be the new ratio? 60 upon 95. Now, can I say that, yeah, this 60 and this 60 are now same. Now, as they are same, now we can use these quantities. So 24 ratio 60 ratio 95. So right answer is 24 ratio 60 ratio 95. So the middle term, which is coming in both the ratios, in this case, we had given this B. The B is common between both. So you need to equate them to make the continued ratio. Now, let us see if everybody got this or not. I will give one more example to you guys. A upon B is equal to 6 upon 10 and B ratio C is equal to 13 upon 19. Find A ratio, B ratio, C. I want answer from each one of you, all the 29 participants. I want answer from each one of you. Please reply fast. You can simplify the answer. You can simplify. I want simplified answer, guys. Okay. So which is the common term? So the common term is B and B. Is the B same in both? No, sir. Here it is 10, here it is 13. So we need to equate them. Before equating them, let's convert A ratio B, which was 6 ratio 10, to its simplest form. 6 ratio 10 can be written as what? 3 upon 5. This is clear to everyone. 6 upon 10 can be written to 3 ratio 5. Now 5 and 13. Can we get the LCM of 5 and 13? Sir, 5 and 13 both are prime numbers. So their LCM is 13 into 5, 65. Now let's make it 65. A ratio B equals to 3 ratio 5. If we multiply 3 ratio 5 by 13 and 13, we'll get 39 upon 65. This is A upon B. Now when we go to B ratio C, the original one that is given is 13 ratio 19. 13 ratio 19. To make it 65, multiply 5, divide 5. This is 65 and this is 95. So what is the ratio? The final ratio is 39 ratio 65 ratio 95. A ratio B ratio C. Okay guys? Fine. This was continued ratio. The ratio of 3 or more quantities. Now let's check if there is any illustration that need to be addressed. Otherwise we'll come to exercise directly. We can come to exercise. So this is the exercise. Exercise 1A. Everybody knows, right? How to download ICAI PDF from website. Any problem to anyone about that? How to download the chapter PDF of ICAI? Mayank, you don't know or you're saying no problem? Okay, tell me, sir, please. Guys, watch it carefully. You need to go to your browser. This is your browser, okay? In Google, I will type ICAI BOS. ICAI BOS. This BOS means Board of Studies. So ICAI BOS, the BOS knowledge portal. This is the first link you should click. In the first link, new scheme of training foundation course. This is your course. Okay. Click the foundation course. Now you will get 4 papers. These are the 4 subjects. Paper 1, 2, 3, 4. I will click my subject, paper number 3, business maths, stats, and logical reasoning. Now, there you will get study material. Study material, if you click, these are the chapter wise PDFs. So if you want to calculate, if you want to download first chapter, just click it. It will be open. The PDF is open here, and you can Control S in your system. You can save it directly or download it in your mobile. It will be automatically downloaded anyways. Okay, guys. Okay, now questions. Now you need to answer the questions of exercise in this format. If I'm asking question number 1, you should give answer as 1B, 1C like this. So tell me the answer of question number 1. 1A, 1B, 1C. What is the answer? Sir, inverse ratio. Just reverse. 1A. Okay. This is A. Now the ratio of two quantities is 3:4. If the antecedent is 15, what is the consequent? Question 2. The question looks very easy, right? Okay. So right answer is, sir, 3/4 is equal to 15 upon something. That something is x. So I will write x is equal to 15 upon 3 into 4, which is 20. Very simple, right? Now question number 3. The ratio of quantities is 5:9. If the consequent of its inverse ratio is 5, consequence of its inverse ratio is 5, what is the antecedent? Very easy question. C. Inverse means 7/5. 5 is the consequent, 7 is the antecedent. Yeah. Question 4. The ratio compounded of 2:3, 9:4, 5:6, 8:10. We have 4 ratios. You need to find the compounded ratio of these 4. Compounding means multiplying all of them. Multiply all of them and tell me what is the answer. So we are in exercise 1A, question 4. It is very simple, guys. 2/3 into 9/4 into 5/6 into 8/10. 3 3 ja 9, 5 2 ja 10, 2 and 2 cross, 3 2 ja 6, 4 2 ja 8. The answer coming is 1:1 because everything is crossed now. So the correct answer is option A. Clear, guys? No problem. 1A. Now, fifth, the duplicate ratio of 3:4. I will not waste time. It's 9:16. Squaring. Duplicate means squaring. Subduplicate of 25/36. Root, sir. 5/6. The triplicate ratio of 2/3. 2 ka cube, 8. Cube of 3, 27. 7th A. Question 8. The subtriplicate of 8/27. Subtriplicate means cube root. Cube root of 8/27 is 2/3. Now, question number 9. The ratio compounded of 4:9 and duplicate ratio of 3/4. So one ratio is 4/9. Then calculate the duplicate of 3/4 and then multiply them. So one ratio is 4/9. Other is square of 3, square of 4. So we'll get 4/9 into 9 by 16. 9 and 9 are cross. 4 by 16 can be written as 1 by 4. So option 1, yeah, option A is the correct answer. So A for 9th. Now for 10th, the ratio compounded of 4:9, duplicate ratio of 3 by 4, triplicate ratio of 2 by 3, and 9 by 7. So there are 4 ratios. One is only 4 by 9. Second is duplicate of 3 by 4. Third is triplicate of 2 by 3. And fourth is only 9 by 7. Now multiply all these 4 ratios. So first ratio is 4 by 9. Second is duplicate of 3 by 4. I will directly write 9 by 16. Third is triplicate of 2 by 3, which is 8 upon 27. And the last one is 9 by 7. Now 9 and 9 cross. Then 9 3 ja 27 cross. 4 4 ja 16 cross. 4 2 ja 8 cross. So the answer is 2 upon 21. I think it's 2 upon 21. And the correct option is C. Not A. You must be doing some mistake. The right answer is C. Okay. Any problem in this question? Question 10. Any problem? No. Now 11. Now 11 you need to do. Do it now. 11th. Question 11th. Okay. Does it mean that answer of 11th is none of these? Okay. Others, please. Yeah. So the ratio compounded of duplicate ratio of 4 by 5, which is 4 square 16, 5 square 25. Then product triplicate ratio of 1 by 3. So 1 upon 27. 3 3 ja 9 3 ja 27. Sub duplicate ratio of 81 by 256, which is 9 by, what is the square root of 256? It is 16. Then multiplied by sub triplicate of 5. And what is the cube root of 512? I think it is 8. Yes. Now let's cancel things. 16 16 is cancelled. 9 3 ja 27. And only 5 is in the numerator. I can also cross 5. Sorry. 5 5 ja 25. So 1 upon 15 8 ja 120. And 1 upon 120 is none of the options. So the correct answer is option D. Very good, guys. Question 11 is also done. Now question 12. We'll understand something new. It looks very easy question, but something is there that you need to understand as a concept. Okay. See, if A ratio B is equal to 3 ratio 4, find the value of 2A plus 3B ratio 3A plus 4B. Now, if A upon B is equal to 3 upon 4, tell me, is it compulsory that A is equal to 3 and B is equal to 4? Tell me, guys. Is it mandatory that if a ratio of two quantities is 3 ratio 4, it means that first quantity is necessarily 3 and B is necessarily 4? No, sir. It may be the simplest form of the ratio. It may be the simplest form of the ratio. Suppose I can write A by B as 3 by 4 also. I can write A by B as 6 by 8 also. Got it? Is this clear? These two things? I can write like this also. I can write like this also. Alternative way. There is nothing mandatory that it is only equal to 3 and 4. You getting my point, guys? Even if you got the answer, please try to listen me. I am going to disclose a different thing. It's not about answer. It's about understanding something. Please, guys, reply. Is it okay for you if I write that A upon B is equal to 3 upon 4 or A upon B is equal to 6 by 8? Are both the things same? Yes. Yes, same. Now, what is your term 2A plus 3B, 3A plus 4B? 2A plus 3B ratio 3A plus 4B. 2A, 3B, 3A, 4B. Yes, that is here. Now, do it by both the ways. Do it by both the ways. First, let's take if A equals to 3, B equals to 4. Solve it. 3 2 just 6. 2 into 3 plus 3 into 4 whole divided by 3 into 3 plus 4 into 4. What are we getting? 12 and 6, 18 divided by 9 and 16, 25. Is there any answer called 18 by 25? Yes. So D is the correct answer. No problem. Now I want you to do it in other way also. I want you to do in other way also. If A is equal to 6 and B is equal to 8. Now 3 into 6 plus 3 into 8. Now 3 into 6, sorry. This should be 2 into 6. Plus 4 into 8. This is 12 plus 24 whole divided by 18 plus 32. 12 plus 24 is 36 whole divided by 18 plus 32 is 50. If you simplify this, 18 to the 36, so 18 and 24. Same answer. So you are getting my point? Don't ever assume that, sir, because A upon B was 3 upon 4, that's why we have taken 3 and 4. No. You can take 3 by 4 also. You can take 1.5 or 2 also. Then also you'll get the same answer, 1.5 or 2. Okay. So remember this thing. So this was concept. Now, what is the instruction for solving questions? Just simply take 3 and 4 and solve it. Put 3 and 4 in place of A and B and solve it. You will get the required answer. Okay, guys. This was question 12 and the answer was 18 by 25. Now, question number 13, we will try to do it by options. Now, various questions will come in question chapter 1, chapter 2, which can be directly solved by option. See how. Two numbers are in the ratio 2 ratio 3. Two numbers are in the ratio 2 ratio 3. If 4 is subtracted from each, if we subtract from 4 from antecedent as well as consequent, the ratio that will arrive now after the subtraction, that will be 3:5. So let's check. First option, 16 by 24. Tell me, is 16 by 24 is in 2:3? Can I say that 16 by 24 is also 2 by 3? Yes or no? Yes, sir, we can say that. Can can we also say 4 by 6 also 2:3 and 2 by 3 is also 2:3? So all the three options are satisfying condition 1. All the three options are satisfying condition 1. Now, when we talk about subtraction, let's see option B. If you subtract 3 from 4, you will get 1. If you subtract 3 from 4, you will get 1. If you subtract 5 from 6, again you will get 1. This is 1:1. And this is not 3:5. So this is wrong, right? You got it? This is wrong totally because you are getting 1 by 1. In option C, you cannot subtract 3 and 5. Even you can subtract, you will get -1 and -2, which is also 1 by 2 and not 3 by 5. Now let's check 16 by 24, which is actually the correct answer. 16 minus 3, not 16 minus 3, 16 minus 4 is 12. 24 minus 4 is 20. Can I say 12 by 20? Simplify it. 4 3 are 12, 4 5 are 20. Can I say it is 3 by 5? Now repeat. Is it 3 by 5? Yes. So this, some of the questions can be done by option, and we need to understand that if any question can be done by option, we should do it by that only. We should do it by that only because we have the scarcity of time. When I will take your test number 1, you will realize that time management is very essential in our subject. Okay. So right answer is 16 by 24. Now, the angles of the triangle are in the ratio 2:7:11. This can be done if you know that total angle of the triangle is 180 degree. Total angles of the triangle. The sum of all the angles of triangle should always be equal to 180 degree. Now split this 180 degree in ratio 2:7:11. The right answer is C. I will not repeat this question because splitting the profit, splitting the angles, all are same things. We already did one example for this. Question number 15 by option. Question number 15 by option. You need to divide 324, and that 324 should be in the ratio of 11:7. Now check in options whether total of all the pairs of numbers are coming to 324, condition 1. If they are coming to 324, then check whether their ratio is 11/7. If it is so, then that is the right answer. Sahil, I should not repeat actually the 14th one. But okay, now you're asking, I have to. See, for any triangle, the total angle is always equal to 180 degree. So there are three angles, right? 1, 2, and 3. The sum of three angles should be equal to 180 degree. Now, you have a ratio in question 14. The ratio is 2:7:11. Now, in this ratio, you need to distribute this 180 degree. So 180 degree into 2 by the total 7 to 9, 11, and 20. Then 180 degree into 7 by 20. Then 180 degree into 11 by 20. Here you will get 9 to 18 degree. Here you will get 63 degree. You will get 99 degree. The sum of all is 180 degree. And that is the split 18, 63, 99. Option C. Okay, for option 15. What is the answer, guys? None of the option is matching, right? None of the option is matching. Let's check question 15. So my total value is 324. Now split in the ratio 11:7, which means 11 upon 18 and 7 upon 18. So 11 upon 18 into 324, ratio 7 upon 18 into 324. So how much you will get? 324 upon 18 into 11, 198 and 126, which is not in any option. So right answer is D. Okay, guys. So that was all about the exercise. Now remaining questions are homework for you. Now since this is our last demo class, from now onwards, the lecture number 6, it will be provided to you if you subscribe to us. Now, frankly tell me, how was the 5 days session? Have you enjoyed? Was it worth of your time or not? Just tell me whether you register or not register. Have you learned something new in these 5 days? That's what I'm asking. Yeah, it was helpful to all of you. That's great, guys. Thank you so much for the response.